Hello, lovelies. Welcome to, or welcome back to, the dollhouse. I'm Kira, and I haven't made a video for a while because this has been a little tough. So, I'm sitting here with the 48-pin frustration machine and slowly cranking out and thinking. So hopefully this won't be loud. I don't think this should be too loud. Maybe I should just slow crank and think. We'll have to see how that does post-production, because, you know, I don't really edit things because I don't have that much time. So, at the end of July, I wasn't feeling well. I was searching for words. I was way, way too warm. I couldn't drink enough water. And by the time I went to bed, what I was trying to say was not the words coming out of my mouth. I was using the same word to refer to the same thing, but it was not the proper word. So it's not technically a word salad. It wasn't just jumbly random things coming out. I knew what I was trying to say, but it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted to say it. And I was getting frustrated at my family playing charades with me when I was clearly saying something obvious. So I got frustrated and I went to bed. The next morning I woke up and I felt like my brain had been in a cement mixer. Myalgic encephalomyelitis, mast cell activation. I mean, I have all of these other diagnoses, so brain fog is not foreign to me, but this was some really thick brain fog. So my son, my oldest, convinced me to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital the next morning. And my son dropped me off at the emergency room door because I was still trying to tell everybody I was fine. I'm fine. My head just hurts. I'm fine. And I walked into the ER and walked up to the reception desk, and she said, "What can I help you with?" And I said, "Well, yesterday I got overly warm. I could not cool down. I could not drink enough water, and I said my words were coming out wrong. And today I can pick the right words, but sometimes there's a delay. I know what I want to say, but I have to search for the word." I didn't even get to sit down in the waiting room. The nurses scooped me up, took me back into eval. Before I knew what was going on, I am still like brain foggy. I don't know what's going on. And overwhelmingly, I just feel like I'm fine. I don't need to be here. But my family's worried, so I came here anyway. And I am hooked up to tests and this and that and like rapid fire questions. And I had to tell a couple of the nurses, "I'm sorry, you're gonna need to slow down because I can't think that fast right now." I was admitted right away. Side note, if you've ever been stuck in the hospital and seen the tracks on the ceiling and thought, you know, hey, that looks like fun. No, it's not. No, it's not. They would not let me get off the stretcher and into the CT machine. They had to use the engine hoist system. No, it's not fun. Do not recommend. Just saying. So they did a CT scan and they sent me up to my hospital room. And after them saying that they had to get clearer images from an MRI, I learned that I had a brain mass. And after having to get images with contrast in an MRI, I learned exactly what size the brain mass is, where it's located. It's putting mild mass effect pressure on my quadrigeminal plate. But the real kicker of all of this kind of fell into place when I said, well, in the beginning of July, I stopped taking my last opioid medication. I said, I'm done with pain pills. It's taken me many years to wean myself off of all of the opioids, but I was down to one prescription, and I said, okay, that's it. I'll wean myself off. So, apparently, if you don't know, if you're on opioid medications for a long time, even if you wean yourself off of them, your brain has this funny little thing of causing bounce back. So, essentially, since my brain lived in an opioid bubble wrap for 15 years, I got 15 years worth of headache all at once. There's no quantifiable damage that was done that they can point to that it was a stroke, but they think it was a combination of a very mild mini stroke and rebound pain from a lifelong migraine problem that I didn't know I had, because I grew up with the Reagan era and the Reagan era boomers, and they said you're not old enough to have a headache. You can't have a headache when you're a kid. What do you have to worry about? And illness was weakness, and you just power through it because that's what you do. Because only snowflakes lay in bed and say, oh, poor me, I'm sick. So, I've apparently had migraines all my life, and I just thought that's what everybody's head felt like. And when I stopped my pain medications, and that's one of the first things I said, even when I was loopy, borderline delusional when I was in the hospital, I said, I do not want anything stronger than Tylenol. I said, if I tell you I'm in pain, please bring me Tylenol. I said, I don't care what I say at that moment. Please don't give me anything stronger than Tylenol, because I was determined to stay off of pain medications. I took my brain's bubble wrap away. So if it hadn't been for whatever that rebound effect caused, I may not have known that there is an extra mass in my brain. It's not carcinogenic. It's not going to kill me per se. We have to keep a 6 to 12 month MRI scan going for the rest of my life to monitor it. It is not a small mass, and it is causing mild effect to the brain around it. So we have to keep an eye on it. But it is not a solid mass. It's considered a thin-walled, fluid-filled cyst, which is better than a solid mass, because sometimes the brain just goes and reabsorbs it. Sometimes it just shrinks, and then sometimes it gets bigger, and sometimes it breaks. And sometimes when it gets bigger, it blocks the cerebrospinal fluid between the brain and the spine. So I'll develop hydrocephaly, which will put immense pressure inside my head. So I gotta keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's why I haven't been around. It's been really difficult trying to coordinate things, and you know, every time you get a new diagnosis, you have to get new doctors. So I now have a neurologist as well as a neurosurgeon, who are both really, really good. My neurologist is trying to fight with my insurance company, because my insurance company will cover some of the new generation migraine medications, but they come at a between $300 and $500 copay a month. And since I'm on Medicare, because I'm old, that's considered federally funded, so I do not get to participate in any of the manufacturer discount programs. We found out that I am allergic to one of the rescue medications that my doctor gave me a sample of. So that one's out. We have another rescue medication to be picked up at the pharmacy. I'm probably going to send my son today to go get that for me and try that one out and hope we're not allergic. But the only thing I have for relief right now is I have my medical card and I have Tylenol. So I've been trying to stay, you know, as stress-free as possible. While I was in the hospital, of course I took yarn. Could I do anything? No. The first ball of yarn I got, I could not get the middle out of the yarn. So there is a bag of yarn barf somewhere over there that still needs to be dealt with, because I just got so frustrated that I couldn't even find the end of the yarn. I couldn't make a slip knot. It took me 2 weeks to make a cotton water bottle cover after I got home. I don't know what happened. My yarn skill just exited the building. It's slowly starting to come back, but I really I really feel like I'm having to relearn everything. And I mean, of all things considered, the yarn knowledge was something that, you know, at least I can still walk and I can still talk. So I guess I can relearn yarn. But I am trying to frustration machine. I'm trying to frustration machine hats because that keeps me busy, as well as chilly weather's coming up, so I can donate all of these. I have 2 local community centers that I know at any time I can just drop off a box of hats, scarves, shawls, whatever, and they'll be more than happy to find people that need them. I know there's at least one food closet in my area that will take anything that I make and make sure that someone that needs it gets it. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm not up on the latest yarn. I'm not up on the trendy patterns. I'm just trying to make my existence a net positive right now. So I'm sorry I don't have a whole lot of stuff and news and things, and you know, usually at least I have some finished objects to share with you. But I've just been making hats and trying not to hurt my brains anymore. All in all, it's a good outcome. I mean, it's not an immediate threat. It's something that we have to keep an eye on. But it's also something that I'm not going to be able to afford medication for. So I'm hoping that rebound breakthrough pain lasted a good month, which I kind of expected, but I did not expect it to knock me for that much of a loop. And I don't know what head not hurt feels like, because my head always hurts. My head has always hurted. My head has always felt like this. Some days I have good pain hurt days, and some days I have bad pain hurt days, but they're all pain hurt days. So I really can't be too sad about my insurance covering things but leaving me paying $500 a month. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but I'm not really missing anything because I don't know what feel better feels like. So, yeah, that's my rationality right now. I'm just trying to scrape my scrambled eggs and try to make it look like an omelet. It's really all I can do. I have a good team of doctors working with me, and we've involved the hospital specialty pharmacy, who is trying to get some kind of preventative meds to see if we can make it feel better. But I'm just hoping I can get my yarn skills back. But until then, I will just keep cranking hats out to donate, because at least I'm useful. I can put something positive and useful out there. A 16-year-old me would have hated how I am now. Really, I have turned into such a weird hippy dippy whatever. But it is what it is. If I can put kindness out there for someone who gets kindness at no other place, then, you know, my hats aren't going to change people's lives, but maybe they'll make somebody smile, and maybe they'll make somebody's day better. And that's all I can hope for. That's all we can all hope for. I will try to make more content, more consumable content, because this really isn't consumable content. But I'm not the content maker. I'm not the influencer. I'm not gonna tell you what yarn to buy and what to make with it. It's just not me. But I'll try to keep you guys updated, and I will try to keep you updated on my progress as well as how the yarning goes, because I wasn't an expert, but I was a proficient beginner, and I'd like to get that back. So I guess stay tuned, and thank you for listening to me ramble. And when I have consumable content, I will try to make something for you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I love you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And especially now in the world, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everyone else. Our division is not going to win anything for anyone. We can only win together. There's too much hate. There's too much. And one random act of kindness can do more than you know. So be kind. Be kind to yourself. Sprinkle kindness like seeds. We really need it. Thank you, lovies. Until next time.